Hi, this is David here at Island Campervans and welcome to the handover video of this direct camper conversion VW-T6.1. We're going to take you around and show you the key functions of the vehicle to help you get to grips with your first few adventures away. Now, I do recommend that you maybe bookmark this video or download it to your device for later reference. So all that's left to me to say is I hope you enjoy the video and find it useful, and I will catch you at the end of the video. At the rear on the driver's side of the vehicle, you're going to find this little flap just here, and this is the freshwater fill for your van. So first things first, you need to take the cap out, take your water line, insert that in, and then just fill the tank. Now there is an overflow pipe for the tank, so if you start seeing water spill down the bottom of the van, that means that the tank is full. You may also see a backwash of water come through. Once you're done, retract your hose, put the cap back on, and then close the cap. And that there covers the freshwater. Down on the rear, on the driver's side, near the freshwater fill, you're going to find this access hand panel here, and hiding under here is your electrical hookup panel. So to use the electrical hookup panel, you're going to need your cable, and what you should always do is plug the van in first, so that way you're not traveling around with a live cable. So take a cable, plug it in till it clicks, and then connect the other end to your energy source. Once you've plugged in at the energy source, I would always recommend that you check the energy source board, make sure that trips correctly. You don't want to leave your van to be the last line of defense. Make sure your cable is fully unfurled. Don't leave it piled up in little neat curls. The cable can get hot and can melt the interior sheathing of the cable itself. When it comes to removing the cable, you want to disconnect the energy source first, so that way you're not traveling on a live cable. Disconnect your cable by just retracting the cable out, shutting the flap down securely to make sure that's all closed. When you are stowing your cable away, it's a great opportunity to check your cable's condition. So you want to check the sheathing of the cable, make sure there's no nicks or obvious breaks in the line. You want to check the condition of your terminal points, make sure there's no cracks or damages here, and also make sure that the cable is still secured firmly at the end of the cable itself. And that there covers electrical hookup. In the back of your van, located in this locker here, you are going to find your gas locker with your camping gas bottle installed at the back here. So to turn the gas on and off, it's just a simple case of just turning the regulator at the top here. Turn it to the right to turn the gas off, turn it to the left, turn the gas on. Now, I do recommend that when you are traveling with your van that you turn the gas system off just for extra safety. Hiding in the same cupboard as the fresh tank access and the distribution board, you can see these two little taps. So you have them just here. If I take my finger out of the way, you can see that they're marked green and yellow. These are the gas isolation taps for the Pro X heater and for the hob ring circuit. So at the moment, the taps are in the open position, which allows gas to flow through them. Now, for winterization of your van, or if you're laying the van up for a period of time, it's recommended that you close these taps. Now, the way to close the taps is you just turn the tap 90 degrees and the tap will be in a horizontal position rather than vertical, and that indicates them as being closed. If you are in the van and for whatever reason you're getting errors with the gas systems, it's probably a case that you may have forgotten to turn these off. So obviously just check under here and make sure they are in the vertical up and down position to let the taps be open. Hiding at the back of the van near the rear bench seat, you're going to see this access panel. Inside this access panel here is your Sargent power supply unit, which is this device just here. Now this houses all your fuses on the left, and the fuses are all labeled to let you know which fuse is which. I do recommend traveling with some spare fuses just in case, and that way there you can reinstall power to any device that has blown a fuse. On the opposite side here is the trip board with the distribution switch, and that allows you, when you plug the van in on an electrical circuit, you can run a trip test to make sure that the circuitry are working correctly, and that covers the Sargent unit. Located in the cupboard where the Sargent power supply is, you can see this access flap just down here. Now, under this access flap is access to the fresh water tank. So you have a little screw lid just here, and this allows you to go in and flush the tank or add cleaning chemicals to sanitize the water as you need to. Now, the tank has an overflow pipe to the side, so when you are filling it with fresh water, so the fresh water comes in here, this is the overflow, and the water will spill out to the bottom. Now this on this side here is the water pump, which draws the water out towards the sink. There is no physical drain for this water tank, so it's a case for winterization. What you would need to do is you would need to run the tap until the water pump has sucked all the water out of the unit itself, and that allows you then to winterize this tank for the winter months when you're not using the van anymore, as it were. Don't forget, when you are reinstating the van for your next season, that if you have left the water in there, the water will have gone stagnant, so you definitely need to flush this tank out. So it's definitely recommended that you flush this out when the tank is not being used. Let's take a look at the ProX heater that is fitted to your van. So the ProX heater is actually quite a simple device to use. There are two control knobs, which allows you to select the off position, fan, cooler, and then heater. And then below that you have the thermostatic control, which allows you to have hot or cold. Now on the bottom of the thermostatic control there is a frost protection mode. If you rotate this all the way around to the bottom position, that then puts you into like a frost mode when you have the heater on. So basic operations. Okay, so you need to make sure you have turned the gas supply on, and that you also have either a 12-volt circuit or you have electrical hookup to allow the device to power on. So first things first, if you just want to ventilate the van, we're just going to rotate to the fan, like so. This will then just put on the fan mode for the ProX system, and that'll just blow cold air and around inside the vehicle. If we want to use the heater, we need to select the heater mode, which is this function just here. So we're going to rotate this to the heater mode, like so, and then we can now control the flow of air with this device just here. Now, when you switch the fan system off after you finish heating the van or you finish ventilating the van, you may hear the system continue to run for a few minutes afterwards. That is perfectly normal. All that's happening is the ProX system is just ventilating and cooling down and going through its shutdown procedure. Now, if you have any particular problems with your ProX system, it may be not working, this little red light here will blink a couple of times in sequence. This will be your fault code for the heater system itself, as it were. Now, you can normally do a soft reset of the system. So to soft reset your ProX system, what you need to do is put it into fan mode first, and then switch it off and on again within 2.5 seconds, and that will normally reset your system. The green light here is just to let you know that normal operation has started on the heater side of things. And that there covers your ProX heater. As you come inside your camper van, just above the fridge, you are going to see this. Now this here is your habitation control system. So this allows you to power the van on, put the 12-volt circuit on, run the water pump, put the lights on, check battery levels. So first things first, turn the system on. There's the button at the top corner here. That powers the 12-volt circuit on. By default, the system will immediately go into leisure battery, but you can, if you wish, you can switch over to vehicle battery mode if you need to. If you want to check the levels of the battery, it's just a case of just hold your finger on the button and you'll see the levels light up along the side here to let you know how the batteries are getting on. Turn the water pump on. The button just here with the tap, that will turn the water pump on. Sometimes you might hear a little gargle noise from the water pump, perfectly normal. There could be air in the system and it's just purging. And then to turn the main lighting circuits on, it's this light just here. Now the kitchen light runs on its own light circuit, which is this little blue switch located just here next to your ProX heater. And that there covers our habitation control systems. Next, we're going to take a look at the Dometic fridge that's fitting inside your van. So your Dometic fridge is connected to the 12-volt socket on its own independent circuit. So this allows the fridge to work outside of the standard leisure system, which is controlled by your HAB panel here. So it means if you turn the HAB panel off, the fridge will still continue to function and operate. Now, to turn the fridge on and off, we will press the fridge button on down here. This will turn the fridge on, and then the button just to the side here allows us to change the temperature of the fridge itself. You've got the ice box just in the top there, and then you have your various different drawers and bits on board. Now, when the fridge isn't being used, you do have a ventilator mode for the fridge circuit. The little blue tag pops out like so, and this allows the door to shut but not fully. It allows a gap running down the side here, which allows the fridge to ventilate. So if you are not using the van for a little while or aren't using the fridge for a while, it's recommended that you turn the fridge off, put the ventilator on, and it will just stop mold and mildew collecting inside your fridge, and it allows any moisture to ventilate out of the fridge correctly, as it were. And that there covers the Dometic fridge fitted to your van. Let's move on to the microwave that's fitted to your camper van. So your microwave will only work while the van is connected on an electrical hookup, and you know the electrical hookup is working by the timer being now displayed on top of the microwave. Now, I'm not going to go into too much depth about this device because there is a lot to cover on this, so I definitely would recommend referring to its owner's manual. But in essence, just a quick guide for you. You can set the microwave power load by this button here. You can then set your timer mode on here, and then when you're ready to start, you just press the start button like so. To stop the microwave at any time, press the stop button, and then to open the door, it's just the little button at the bottom which will open the door for the microwave. You do have the grill and combine options, but as I said, please refer to your owner's manual for proper operations of these devices. Next, we're going to have a look about how to put the bed up and down in your van. So to drop the bed, we need to pull this lever here, lift it up, and slide the bed forwards. Just keep bringing it forwards. Give it a push, and there we go. And that is the bed now down, ready for use. So once you've finished, then you do need to raise the bed back up again. And I would suggest it's a combination of using your knees and hips and pulling on the lever as on indicated at the top here, like so. So get your knees behind it, pull this up, and then push until you hear it click into position, like so. And that is the seat now back up in its seat mode, and that covers the bed. Located just down the driver's footwell is the bonnet release, like so. And let's go under the bonnet. Safety release is in the middle. Give it a little squeeze, as located here, and then push the bonnet up. So underneath you have brake reservoir or reservoir fill. There is a dipstick located just down the side here with a yellow tang. Then into the middle you have your coolant level, and then you have your screen wash device. Over the side here is the vehicle's main battery for the engine. To shut the bonnet, just bring the bonnet down and give it a good push to secure the bonnet in place. So let's have a look at the pop top roof on the van. Now, I've already gone ahead and loosened off the ratchet straps ready for this video part here. Now, I would recommend that you wind the straps right back to the very end. Just make sure you've got plenty of line available to you. So once you're ready, just give the roof a good push up and the roof will go up by itself. Give the roof a wee moment to settle. So once you're happy the roof is settled, we can now raise the top board. Now the top board has a hinge mechanism in the middle. So we need to raise it up in the hinge point, push it up so it stows out of the way correctly. And then for the side windows, a couple of zips around the side. And then if you want to open the bottom panel, there is a zip which runs around the bottom, which will allow you then to open up the whole roof. There's a couple of little toggles just here, and you would roll this up and connect the toggles to allow the full roof opening. For closing the roof down, you need to lower the top part down first. Make sure that is down, like so. And then when you bring the roof down, make sure you pull the sides in as you drop the roof. Okay, so I'll quickly demonstrate just with the video for the camera. So as you bring the roof down, make sure you bring the sides in like so before you bring the roof all the way down. Once you've got the roof down, it's just a case of tighten the straps off, make sure that any excess material is all tucked in neatly, and that is the roof. So that was the Handover video for the VW T6. I do hope you found it useful and it helps you get to grips for your first few adventures away. But of course, myself and my colleagues are all available here at Campervans if you have any problems or just need any extra additional help. All that's left for me to say is I hope that you enjoy the van and have many happy miles motoring and enjoying yourself. And we look forward to seeing you again at some time. Bye for now.